Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's a new year, and with it, a new golf season. At least it is for me. I accomplished a lot in 2025, more than I expected, and those accomplishments spawned this podcast. Can a guy who's on the wrong side of 55 and broke 100 for the first time just 20 months ago really break 80? That's what we're here to find out. So in this episode, as I kick off season 2, the season of hope, I put some thought into what I would like to accomplish in 2026, and I'd like to share those goals with you. And then I'll bring you up to speed on how the first few rounds of the year played out. Thanks for being here. Let's get going. So to kick off 2026, I wanted to start the season with my New Year's golf resolutions. And I mentioned in the last episode that going into 2025, I only had one golf goal. And that golf goal was to play 100 rounds of golf. And I believed by getting out, playing more, that my game would improve. And again, as I talked about in the last episode, I think that was the case. I did play 100 rounds of golf, and I think it helped my game tremendously. But this year, I've got a few more goals and a few more things that I would like to accomplish in 2026. So here are my New Year's resolutions, and they are in no particular order. So resolution number 1 is to play 100 rounds of golf. No big surprise here, but I believe it paid dividends last year, and I don't see any reason why it won't pay dividends again this year. Getting out and playing golf is one of the most important things I can do to help my golf game continue to progress. So I'm putting this back on the board for 2026. I want to get out and play another 100 rounds of golf. My second resolution is I want to play more different courses this year. So in 2026, I've set the goal that I would like to play 10 different golf courses. In 2025, I played 4 different courses. Orioles, my home golf course. That's where I'm going to play 90% of my golf. But I absolutely think getting out, seeing different golf courses, solving different puzzles, being forced to hit different shots with different clubs is good for the golf game. So I want to see and play more golf courses in 2026 than what I played in 2025. Number 3 on the list, and this is a big one, is get in golf shape. And I could probably change that, honestly, to just get in shape. I think being in better shape will help my golf game. Pre-pandemic, I had a very disciplined workout routine. During the pandemic, the gyms closed. Actually, the gym that I went to closed for good. And this is a terrible excuse because we're 5 years removed from the pandemic, but I've never really found a replacement for it. And my exercise regime has been hit or miss. I'll get going with something, stop, start, and I really need to get back to exercising consistently. And I'll be honest, I am a good 40 pounds heavier today than I was when I had that consistent exercise routine back in 2019 and 2020. And the older you get, the harder it becomes to shed those pounds. So golf or not, it's the right thing to do. It's good for me. But I believe increased strength, increased flexibility, being lighter, more athletic can do nothing but good things for my golf game. So I'm hoping that by putting it on my list, I'll find something and stick to it because I believe getting in better shape will help my golf game. Next on my list is do a golf road trip. So I have family. I have a son that lives in South Carolina. I have a son that lives in Ohio. I have a brother and sister that live in Virginia. I have family in Maryland. And at some point a little later this year, I'm hoping April or May, I'd love to take some time off from work and do a road trip where I get to see everybody. And you go from Florida to South Carolina to Ohio to Maryland. And along the way, I'd love to just find golf courses on that route and go out and play golf. So it ties in a little bit to my play 10 different golf courses, but I just think it would be fun. I think it'd be fun to be on the road, go out and on that trip. Well, again, I'm going to spend time visiting with family, but play 3, 4, 5 different golf courses along the way. And as I get closer, I'd love to go out and play with listeners. So if you listen to this podcast and you live somewhere between South Florida and Maryland, I would say would be my northernmost point. Send me a message. Love to hear from you. And I'd love to be able to get out and play golf with some folks who are on their own journey and meet some of the people out there who listen to and enjoy this podcast. The next thing on my resolution list is to absolutely play in the Oriole Ryder Cup again. I had a great time doing it this year. Recorded an episode about it. I thought I learned a lot about my golf game. It was the first time I had ever played competitively, and I'm excited to do it again. So the next one on my list really ties back into that, but is find more ways to compete. So like I said, we'll definitely play the Oriole Ryder Cup again, but I want to find ways to compete more than just that once throughout the course of the year. Maybe that's an FSGA tournament. Maybe it's one of the weekday tournaments at Oriole Golf Club. I don't know, but I think competing is good. It brings a different level of focus to your game. So I would like to find more ways, more opportunities to compete in 2026. The next goal, I think, ties back into that a little bit, which is learn the rules of golf. And this is some place where I think I need to be better. So I play with people that I think know the rules pretty well, but I don't know. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I think I need to spend time understanding the rules, how to take a proper drop, when you get relief, when you don't get relief. Is it a club length? What do the different markings on the golf course mean? If I'm going to compete, I think I have to be better versed in the rules of golf. And that's something that I'm going to work on. And I kind of thought about doing it as a segment here every week. Maybe we have a rules segment every week and talk about one of the rules that either I had wrong or didn't know existed. So let me know if that's something you'd like to hear. I think just understanding the rules of golf is a good thing. Next on my list, I wrote, and this isn't much of a goal, but handicap with a question mark. And I don't know. I don't know that I have a handicap goal. So from 2024 to 2025, I basically went from a 26 handicap to a 16 handicap. And I don't think it's reality to think that I could go from 16 to 6. I think the lower my handicap gets, the harder it's going to be to shave strokes off of it. So that's kind of why I put a question mark there. I think if I do the right things, I play, I practice, identify opportunities, things I need to work on, and I work on those things, and my handicap will be what my handicap will be. I'd like to say single digits. I'd love to be below 10, but I don't know. I honestly don't know whether that's realistic or not. I'll throw that one out there too. Is it realistic to get from 16 to 9 in the course of a year? And again, I'm not 18 years old. I'm not playing in high school. I'm not playing in college. I have no doubt that a younger person with the right instruction could do it. Can I, in 2026, I will be 58. Do I still have the ability to make that kind of leap in the course of the year? I don't know. But like I said, I'm going to focus on doing the right things, and wherever my handicap goes, it goes. Last but not least, and it's the title of the podcast, I want to break 80 in 2026. And I think I can do it. I've had rounds in the low 80s where I look at the scorecard and I think better decision here, one less mistake there. And I really could have been there. I think I need to knock on the door more frequently. I need to shoot rounds in the low 80s. I need to flirt with that number. I need to do it more often so that I can deal with the pressure of what it feels like when I know I'm close. And I think the more I do that, the more comfortable I get. I really do believe it. There's days where, based on where my golf game is, it feels impossible. And then there's days where it feels really possible. So the key is kind of like I said with handicap. I think if I'm out and I'm doing the right things, I'm practicing the right things, I'm playing golf, I'm being present, taking every round, every shot seriously, I think I could do it. And it would be, wow, what an accomplishment it would be for me to shoot around in the 70s. And I've said it on the podcast before, a couple of years ago, I absolutely didn't believe that that was even remotely a possibility. And I'm only a couple of years removed from breaking 100 for the first time. But as I get closer, I absolutely think I can do it. So that's a big goal for this year, is to break 80. So that's it. That's my list of New Year's golf resolutions. I'd love to hear about yours. What are you working on in 2026? Did you set golf resolutions? And if you did, what am I missing? What do you think is important to your golf game? And what do you hope to accomplish in 2026? Leave a message, send me an email. Love to hear what you're working on. And what do you think of my list? Am I realistic? Is it a good list of resolutions, or should I be focused elsewhere? Let me know. So now that I've shared my resolutions, there's only one thing to do. Get out on the course and get to work. Did I hit the course hunting for birdies, or did the snowmen of winter win the day? Let's find out. I kicked off 2026, much like I finished 2025, playing golf. Had an early tee time, 7:45 a.m. for New Year's Day. Played golf with Jake and Jason. And for South Florida, it's about as cold as it gets for a day on the golf course. So when we teed off, it was 42 degrees outside. And that's chilly. It's been a while since I've played in that kind of temperature. But it was set to get better. The thought was that once we were probably through the front nine, it would be a nice day. And it was. It turned out to be really nice. Chilly first 4 or 5 holes, but everybody was shedding layers by about the 6th. And I think by the time we made the turn, it was low 60s and a beautiful day to play golf. But not a banner day of golf. I shot 49 on the front, and you're going to notice a trend here, but I want to talk about the first 4 holes of the day. So the first hole on the course is a par 5, I bogeyed that. Second hole is a par 4, where I made par. Third hole is a par 3, I made triple. And the fourth hole is a par 4, where I made an 8. So I was 8 over through 4. Stuck with it, played a little better golf as the day went on, shot 44 on the back for a 93. I go back out again on Saturday. Saturday, Jason was out again, played with Jason and Steve, and the first 4 holes. First hole, par 5, I made bogey. Second hole, par 4, I make double. Third hole, par 3, I make a bogey. And a fourth hole, par 4, another 8 for a quadruple bogey. Another 8 over par through 4. Shot 46 on the front, 47 on the back for 93. And I've got to say, I was frustrated. I was frustrated after Saturday. And I know things don't always go your way. Improving at golf is not a straight line. Have your ups and downs. But what was really bothering me were the blow up holes, the triples, the quadruples. A big part of my year last year was based on working those things out of my game, knowing that if I could keep it to bogey, double at worst, I'd see my scores improve dramatically. And I think I did a pretty good job of that. But it's just not gone. As much as I'd like to think that those big numbers are out of my game, clearly they're not. And these are holes that I've played. It feels like 1,000 times now and have conquered these holes. But for whatever reason, I'm struggling to get going, struggling on these first 4 holes of the day. And it makes it really tough, right? When my goal is to go out and break 80, that means that on the course, it's par 72. If I'm 7 over par for the day, I would shoot a 79. Well, when I'm 8 over through the first 4 holes of the day, the odds of that happening are pretty slim. So, yeah, a frustrating first 2 rounds of golf to start the year. I was playing again Sunday, and when I woke up Sunday morning, I couldn't help but not feel pressure, but really feel like I've got to go out and play better golf today. I just did not want to shoot 3 rounds in a row in the 90s. I've got to prove to myself that the golf game's still there and I can still go out and I can still put up around in the 80s. So try to get my mindset right. It was a little later of a tee time on Sunday, an 8:50 start time. And actually I didn't know it was going to. The weather wasn't calling for it, but it rained early on Sunday morning. Really backed up the tee times. So I think we even got out a little later than 8:50, but I had plenty of time to go to the range, hit irons, hit drives, chipped to a couple of the greens. After I was done there, I hit the putting green, went back to the chipping green. So had a really good warm up on Sunday morning, thought I hit the ball reasonably well, and just felt like I've got to go out. I've got to get through these first 4 holes, put up a better number, and go out and play good golf. So first hole of the day, this is a par 5. I hit a good drive, left side of the fairway. So where I was at on the fairway doesn't really bring tree trouble into play. There's plenty of room there, but would have to move the ball either right to left, because if you leave it right, it ends up in a bunker. Didn't want to be there. So I just laid up. I hit a 7-iron, left myself 100 yards in, hit a wedge to the middle of the green, 2-putted for par on the first hole of the day, and felt like, all right, this is what we need to do. Just good golf. Fairways, greens, 2 putts, and we're in. Success on the first hole. Second hole, par 4. I found my 3-wood lately. I've been hitting it really well. This is a relatively short hole. I think it plays about 320 yards. There's trouble left, trouble right. Not a great hole for driver unless you're really sure you're going to put it down the middle. So I hit 3-wood and I hit it poorly. Got, who knows, 6 inches off the ground, hit the tee box in front of where I teed off, rolled over, there's a cart path, and just barely into the fairway. So technically, when I go to the GIN app and put in what happened on that hole, it goes in as a fairway hit. But on a 320-yard hole, I'm still 200 yards out. So that means I hit my drive all of 120 yards. So 200 yards out, I obviously had lost some faith in my 3-wood after that swing. Again, fairly narrow shot into the green, water right, sand immediately left of that. Further left, a fence, condos. So decided to hit a club that I felt good about and pulled 6-iron. So a really good 6-iron for me is probably 180 yards, but I was okay with that. If I hit it 180 yards and I've got 20 yards in, I'll if I make bogey, I make bogey, but I'm fine. I'm happy with that decision. Felt like it was the right decision to make there until I hit the 6-iron and hit a huge duck hook left that honestly, I got a really lucky break. There are palm trees lining the fence line of basically what's condominiums on the other side of that fence line. The ball hit a tree. If it didn't hit a tree, it would have been 20, 30, 40, 50 yards over the fence. I mean, it was way over. But hit a tree, came straight down on the golf course side of the fence. So was not out of bounds, but terrible lie up against the fence, took relief from the fence, still had a bad lie, hit my next shot about 10 yards. And so I should say, I had about 60 yards into the green from there. I hit my third shot about 10 yards. Just again, bad lie, fence in my backswing, not a great spot. So now I go to my fourth shot, and to get to the green, I have to go over a bunker. So 50 yards to the flag, I've got to carry it 45 to get to the green. If I don't, I'm in the bunker. And I did. I put the ball in the bunker. Fifth shot out of the bunker, I blade, goes over the green. So on the far side of the green is water. But again, got kind of lucky. The ball got hung up in some tall rough and did not go into the water. So chipped on my sixth shot out of the tall rough, two putted to make 8 on the par 4. As we drove up to the third hole, which is a par 3, I'm in the cart with Jake. And I'll be honest with you. I told him right there, I said, I really haven't felt this in a long time, but I'm so defeated right now. I just feel like calling it a day. I can't believe I went out, made par on the first hole, and then on what should really be an easy, a 320-yard par 4, I just put up an 8, and now I'm 4 over 2. And he just laughed, and he's like, don't worry, it happens. And I said, yeah, I know it happens, but it's now happened 3 rounds in a row that I've done this nonsense. And it's just making me crazy. So I got over it. Again, it's a beautiful day, which I didn't say. Both Saturday and Sunday, nowhere near as cold as New Year's Day, low 60s to start the round, warming up in the mid 70s. Just fantastic. I feel bad when I get wound up on the golf course and I complain, because there's people all over the world that would love to be out playing even bad golf on a beautiful day in South Florida. Much of the country, it's snowy, nasty. I could be out shoveling snow, but instead I'm on a golf course and complaining about the bad shots I hit. So hole 3, par 3, it really should be an easy hole. I hit 8-iron. It was playing about 150 yards. And for the second time in a row, the second full iron swing, another huge duck hook that goes way left to the green, more trees, lands in kind of a sandy area surrounding a palm tree. And so I am 6 feet 5 inches tall. There was probably 4 feet that I had to fit my body into to be able to hit my second shot, which I barely bumped out from underneath the tree. Then I hit my next chip, and I'm frustrated. I'm not taking enough time between shots. I feel like I'm on the third hole of the day, and my round is already just a burning, flaming bag of poop, and was just crazy frustrated. So hit my next chip. That one comes up short of the green. Finally chip on my fourth, 2 putt for 6, triple bogey. So now I've made par, quadruple bogey, and triple bogey to start the day. Move on to the fourth hole. I tee off with a 6-iron, which I hit well. just off the right side of the fairway, but fine, in a good spot, good lie. Had 115 yards in, had what I believed was the perfect club for that distance until I bladed. I bladed the ball, and it came off the club. Again, I'm hitting a wedge. It should be getting up into the air and landing softly on the green. That's not what happened here. I hit a rocket that hit the green and bounced 30 yards past, over a cart path, and shocker, back under some trees, well behind the green. So I get to my third shot, and like I said, I had 30 yards in, but I could not get the ball up in the air because of tree trouble, because there's a canopy of trees over top that would force me to have to keep it low. So the green is elevated. I decide to try and hit one into the hill and hopefully roll it up onto the green. And I hit a decent shot there. Hit it into the hill, rolled up onto the green, but just barely, and then rolled back off the right side of the green. So 3 shots, I'm still not on the green. I hit my 4th shot. This one, I do get on the green, and I 2-putt for 6. So I was upset that on Thursday and Saturday, I started 8 over through 4. I was determined to go out and do better than that on Sunday, and I played the first hole perfectly, put up a par, but then blew up on the next 3 and started my day 9 over through 4. To say that I was hot, frustrated, disappointed would be the understatement of the year. But I try to remind myself, it doesn't really matter. We're out here playing golf. I like the people I'm with. It's a beautiful day. Let's just keep going and hope it gets better. So I move on to hole 5. It's par 4. Hit a good drive, but got kind of a bad bounce, leaving the ball in the rough on the right side of the fairway. But I only had about 65 yards in. I hit a chip, again, not a great lie, that went to the right side of the green. Had hit my 3rd shot on, 2-putted for bogey, and I should have been happy given how the last 3 holes went. Bogey is a huge improvement, but when you hit your drive and you only have 65 yards in on your 2nd shot and you make bogey, at least this is what's going through my mind, it's another failure, and just keeps the frustration going. The 6th hole, hit another long drive, again missed right, but generally that's a better spot than left. Had about 130 yards in. I took an extra club because I was sitting down some deep rough. I hit the ball well, probably better than I thought I was going to. Hit the green, but rolled off the back, chipped on, 2 putts, another bogey. Hole 7, it's par 3. It's playing 155 yards. I hit an 8-iron really well. The ball hit the green, bounced over. It's another elevated green, so there's a hill behind the green, down over a cart path, and lands 30 yards behind the green. So somehow I just hit an 8-iron again with a rough bounce, 180 yards. Which, trust me when I tell you, I don't hit an 8-iron 180 yards. I hit a good pitch back up onto the green, but the green slopes away from you. So if it's the lower part of the green is in the front, the higher part of the green is in the back. So while I hit a good pitch and it landed on the back of the green, it rolled all the way down the front, and it's just impossible to stop. So my next shot was a putt from the fringe for 3, which I left short, and I make bogey on my 4th. Hole 8 is par 4. Another long drive, just under 100 yards in, but again, coming in from the rough on the right side of the fairway. I hit a good shot up over the trees that landed It landed and rolled into a sprinkler head. I took relief from the sprinkler head, two putted from the fringe for par. So my first par since the first hole on the eighth hole. Move on to hole 9, par 5. Another good drop. I was hitting the ball really well on Sunday. Directionally a little challenged, but for me, long. And I'd say that my average distance on driver is 220 to 240, and everything on Sunday was in that 240 range. So I was hitting the ball well. So after another long drive, this one actually missed the fairway left. I pulled out a 9-iron. I was hoping to hit it about 140 yards, which would have left me 100 in, but I hit it fat. It only went about 60 yards, and I still had 180 in over water. You have to carry water on the 9th hole, which not a good place to be. But at this point, I feel like my round's already a mess. What's the point? I could lay up again to give myself an easier wedge shot in, but at 180 yards, I decide that I'm going for it. And initially, I stood over the shot for a while. I had a 6-iron in my hand, and Jake actually talked me into, he said, hey, it's into the wind. He said, you can't come up short here. If I were you, I would take the next club up. Now, the next club up is 5-iron, which hasn't been great as of late. So I pulled the 4 hybrid. And if you've listened to the podcast, I call my 4 hybrid the unhittable because I can't hit it. But it is something that I've been working on. It's something I've been hitting better. And I felt like it was the right club for the job. So from 180 yards out, needing to carry the water, I hit the 4 hybrid and I hit it well. Directionally, again, a little challenged. I missed the green to the right, but carried the water easy. And the 9th hole, the 9th green is a big, so the front of the green lower than the back of the green. And it is steep. So the pin all the way on the left side of the green, I'm on the far right side of the green, probably 50 feet away. I hit a big sweeping putt that I start 20 feet to the right of the hole that goes up a hill, rolls back down. Honestly, it's a pretty good putt. Rolled below the hole about 8 feet back up the hill to make par. So made par on 8, made par on 9, go out and shoot 48 on the front, which all things considered, 48, 16 over par. I was 9 over par through 4 holes. So I brought it back together a little bit, but again, really frustrating because now to shoot around in the 80s, I've got to shoot a 41, which would be the best 9 holes I've ever shot on the back. And it just makes me nuts to blow up and not leave myself an opportunity to put up a good round if I play well in the back. So honestly, I was still really frustrated. Even after making 2 pars in a row on 8 and 9, I'm still really frustrated going into 10. But we play on. And I keep telling myself, it's a beautiful day. This doesn't matter. You're out here to play. You're out here to have fun. You're out here to have practice. But man, does it get to me. And I wish it didn't. I wish that I didn't get frustrated, but I do. So going to the 10th hole is par 4. Missed the fairway right again. Had about 130 yards in, out of the rough. Hit a good shot, but hit the green, rolled off long. Had a scary downhill shot coming back. Chipped on, left about 20 feet, and I 2-putted for bogey on 10. So I get to the 11th hole, and on the 11th hole, you can absolutely not miss right with driver. Can't do it. I know that. I know I have to hit the ball left, but this is how my day's going. I missed the fairway right and was out of bounds. I had to drop, take a stroke, still had tree trouble after the drop. So my next shot hit a tree branch and came down about 65 yards short under another tree. Because I was under another tree, I had to keep the next shot low. So I hit a 5-iron, almost use it like a putter, but did roll the ball onto the green from 65 yards out and 2-putted for double bogey. Move on to the 12th hole. 12th hole is par 5. I missed the fairway just a little right, but in a good position. Hit a good second shot to leave about 100 yards in, a wedge to the center of the green, and a 2-putt for par on 12. The 13th hole, hit a good drive, this one in the fairway, left myself 100 yards in, hit a wedge to the green, left the ball below the hole, which is good on this hole. Another steep, front of the green is lower than the back of the green, and if you end up above the pin, it's a really tough downhill putt. So it was a good place to leave the ball. Long putt, but scared the hole with the first putt, 2-putted for par. So 2 in a row, par on 12, par on 13. Go to hole 14, which is a par 3. Good tee shot, hit the green, 2-putt for par, 3 in a row. Go on to hole 15, it's a par 4. And this is the second hardest hole on the course. It's dogleg left, and I hit maybe the best drive I've ever hit on this hole. Just in the left rough, but only 140 into the green. Standing over 9-iron should be a real plenty of room, just an easy 9-iron shot in. But the duck hooks that I hit earlier in the day returned, and I yanked a 9-iron way left of the green. And it's a really tough spot to be. From that side, from the left side of the green's very narrow, and it runs away from you. So whatever you land there, it's downhill and it's likely to roll off of the green. So I hit a great pitch that landed just on the fringe on the left side. The ball still rolled all the way to the other side of the green, but I was able to make a 2-putt from there for bogey. I go on to hole 16, which is a par 3. And I said before, this is my favorite hole in the course. I'm not sure why, but it's pleasing to the eye for me. It's generally a good number. It was a tough pin on Sunday with the flag tucked behind the bunker with 153 yards to the hole. I hit an 8-iron right of the flag, which was exactly the place to hit it to not mess with the bunker. It rolled off the green, but from the fringe, I was able to 2-putt and make another par. So on to hole 17, and I've mentioned this one before. The thing you can't do on this hole is miss the fairway left. There is a mile available to the right. There's a whole other fairway. The 18th fairway is to the right, and there's plenty of room to get back if you hit it right. I know this, and I still, every time I play it, I miss left. And what did I do on Sunday? I miss left again. Initially, so when you miss left, it brings what is probably the biggest tree in the golf course into play. And it's fun. I'm looking at my shot and I'm talking it over with Jake, and he's like, it looks to me like there's plenty of room to the right and plenty of room to the left. I was like, you don't understand. No matter where I aim this ball, it's going to hit that tree. It always hits the tree. So I might as well just go high and try and take it over the tree. And he's like, all right, you do what you want. But if it were me, I think you've got options that keep you away from that tree. So I have to thank him again. He talked me out of it. I pulled 3-wood, decided to stay left of the tree, keep the ball low, wasn't trying to kill it, just a low liner past the left side of the tree, back out into the fairway. And that's exactly what I did. Good shot, back in the fairway, left me 115 yards in. I hit a wedge that landed near the back of the green, a 20-foot downhill putt back to the flag, which I made for birdie. We go on to hole 18. So on hole 18, I got under my drive, got it up in the air, and I hit the fairway, but it was a short drive. I had 180 yards in, so I probably hit the drive 160 yards, but I'm dead center in the middle of the fairway. It's not a terrible spot. There's nothing in my way. And standing over the ball, 180 yards in, into a pretty stiff breeze at this point, but I pulled 6-iron because it's a club that I have confidence in. It's just decided if I come up a little short, I come up a little short, but this is a club that I feel like I can hit. I can get it to a place where I can get up and down for par. So I pulled the 6-iron there, but I think in my head, I knew that I really had to hit it well to have a shot at getting there. And that's never a good thing. So hit the 6-iron, club face opens up, I push it right, basically goes into the top of a tree, through the tree, back down, but still leaves me 65 yards into the green. I'm not panicked yet. I'm like, all right, it's 2 shots. I'm in a good spot here. Let's put this ball on. I'll give ourselves a shot to make par and get out of here. So my third shot, wedge again, and this one, open the face again and pushed it right. Pushed it way right of the green, leaving myself about 20 yards back in, and hit that shot, the 20-yard shot onto the green, leaving about 15 feet for bogey, made the putt for bogey. And on the back, I knew I had a good back nine going because I made pars on 12, 13, 14, 16, and I made a birdie on 17. But I wasn't really looking to see where I was at. When it was all said and done, I shot 40 on the back. Had I made par on the 18th hole, or had I not hit my drive out of bounds on the 11th, I could have shot 39. And while 40 is my best 9 holes ever, wow, 39 would have been special because it would have proven to me that if I can shoot under 40 in a 9-hole period, then I really have what it takes to go out and break 80. But at the end of the day, after shooting 48 on the front, I go out and shoot 40 on the back for an 88. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure at the end of the day. I was happy. I was happy that I went out and I played 9 good holes of golf and I shot a round of under 90. And then when the day started, that's what I was telling myself I needed to do, that I needed to go out and I needed to put up a round in the 80s. And if I had gone out and shot 45, 43 or 44, 44, honestly, I probably would have been really happy with the 88. But the way I started the day, being 9 over through the first 4 holes, it still stuck with me. I was still agitated, even though I made 3, 4, 5, 6 pars and a birdie in my last 11 holes. It still stuck with me how poorly I started. I don't know. Do you have that problem? Can you go out and play? Does a stretch of really good golf override a stretch of really bad golf in your mind? For me, it doesn't. I wish it did. So the positive that I take from it is I did go out. I did shoot 40 on the back. I certainly had opportunities to shoot lower, but I have got to find a way to get off to a better start. If I'm going to break 80, I've got to go out and I've got to play better. I've got to play better on the front. I've got to play better through those first 4 holes. So that's my first 3 rounds of golf for the year. Some good news, some bad news. And the truth is, that's still who I am. I have moments where I can do this, where I can go out and I can hit fairways and I can hit greens and I can 2-putt for par and I can make the occasional birdie. But as much as I'd like to think that that guy that can also go out and make triple bogeys and quadruple bogeys is gone, he's not. And that golf game is still there. I'm trying really hard to erase it, to put it behind me and be the guy that can go out and shoot 40 on the back 9. But I'm just not there yet. I still have work to do. So that's where I'm at. That's my first 3 rounds of golf, 2026. Amazingly enough, after shooting 2 rounds in the 90s and then carding a round of 88, my handicap actually went down to its lowest point of all time. So I'm down to a 15.8. And all that should feel good. but I'm still frustrated. And do you understand that? Do you listen to me and do you think, I know how you feel? I know what it's like. I know how frustrating it is. And I think when I was the guy who was out there shooting 105 or 110, like that was my golf game. I made triples and quads and put up nines and tens, and that's who I was. But now that I know I can go out and I know I can make pars and that I'm capable of shooting a 40 in a 9-hole stretch, I'm like two completely different people, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The guy on the front is a guy that could go out and shoot 100 at any moment. And the guy on the back is a guy that could go out and shoot a 78. So how can I still be both of those people? But that's who I am. And that's where my golf game is. So I appreciate you listening. I'd love to hear from you. Do you battle the same things? Do you battle the same demons? The person that can go out at any moment and play really good golf is standing right next to the person who could go out and play really bad golf. And how do you deal with it? How do you work through feeling that way? And, I also don't know if it's better or worse. I may be even more frustrated if I went out and shot 40 on the front and then blew up on the back. But as I continue to make my way and try and find the path to breaking 80, this is I've got to find consistency. I have got to keep those big numbers off of the scorecard. I'm going to make some bogeys, but I've got to stop at double. I just can't put up numbers worse than double bogey. So that's it. That's where I'm at. That's my mindset. I'm looking forward to getting out and playing more golf, seeing if I can find a little more consistency. But that's it. That's the state of my game as I start 2026. Thanks for listening. There you have it. Season 2, the season of hope, is underway. Resolutions are in place, and the first few shaky rounds are behind me. It's all coming together. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a comment, rating, and subscribing. It really helps. And as always, I'd love to hear from you. Please email me at breaking80over50@gmail.com. Let me know if you accomplished your goals in 2025 and what you have your sights set on in 2026. It's going to be a great year. We can do this together. I'll see you next week.